Hey guys, and welcome to my first ever Overwatch 2 video. Today we're going to be talking about abilities or talents on Overwatch 2. Now, there was so much that got released at BlizzCon 2019. I'm not going to be going through it all today, but if you want to find out more, then head over to my Facebook group. We're going to basically break some of these more down. So I'm going to highlight some of the best abilities I thought of today and explain them to you guys. Now, Jeff at BlizzCon showed you some abilities, for instance Hanzo's abilities, which are super OP, and a lot of people are thinking, oh, this is going to get implemented into PvP. It's purely PvE, guys, and that is going to be, of course, I think it's the co-op mode, I believe. So I believe the co-op mode, you'd get to select any character you want, and of course story mode would be set characters, and they sort of want to have a story behind them, for instance like Tracer, Reinhardt, and learn a little bit more about those heroes. So today we're going to be talking about alternative ultimates that could be in the cooperative mode. Now, if people aren't familiar with Heroes of the Storm, there is 6 Overwatch characters on Heroes of the Storm made by Blizzard. Now, those are Zarya, Lucio, Ana, D.Va, Hanzo, and Junkrat. Now, they have, of course, alternative ults on that game. They have their normal Overwatch ults, and then they have a secondary one. The way Heroes of the Storm works, for instance, when you get like level 20, you can pick your second ultimate. You can maybe do like a passive thing to bullet damage increases. It's a total different game, but you can select like a different ult. So today we're going to be talking about some of the best ultimates on that for those characters. We're going to talk about some new ultimates, what we thought of, and some what's probably been hiding under our noses since Overwatch came out in the beta or even like season 1. So we're jumping in first to one of the ones I'm super excited about, and that is of course Zarya. Now, Zarya is not played as much as she used to be. A lot of people are playing like Ryan and like Orisa and Hammond and all that now. But on Heroes of the Storm, she's got 2 ultimates. Of course, the Graviton Surge, which essentially she fires a grav, and what it does is it sucks enemies into one location. Now, she has a second one on Heroes of the Storm called Expulsion Zone. Now, essentially what that is it launches a bomb exactly like the Graviton Surge, but the only difference is it pushes them out. Now, with that, I think would be an absolutely amazing ultimate on Overwatch 2, because if there was let's say a mission that you had to defuse a bomb, and say there was a radius around the bomb, and the AI were trying to sort of interrupt this bomb. So every time an AI went into this area, it stopped ticking down to the target. Now, what this ultimate would do would essentially push anything away from this location, forcing all enemies not be able to get into this location, just like the grav would, but sort of like a reverse grav. That's pretty much what it is. But it would work kind of very similar as well in tight alleyways. It would be absolutely amazing. Still powered up with like a Hanzo ultimate. You could still do that damage if necessarily, but I would think that Expulsion Zone would be one of the best ultimates that they could add for Zarya. Jumping on to Lucio. Now, Lucio had 2 ultimates. He got a rework because one of them was absolutely OP, which they could easily implement into Overwatch. Now, it was a reverse amp. Now, what that means is, you know, when you press L1 or R1, depends on what button you've got on, you do a sort of speed boost. Now, what that would do is it would start taking damage off the enemy team. Now, you can see all this on screen right now, how it works on Heroes of the Storm, but that would be an absolutely amazing ability as well. It slows down the enemy. Nothing really on Overwatch where it slows down the enemy to a point where it doesn't freeze them like Mei's ultimate, and nothing really slows them down but doesn't do like crazy amount of damage to them. So the reverse, can't even get the words out, reverse amp would be absolutely amazing. That got replaced because it's quite strong, and that got changed to high 5, which is essentially escape to an ally really quickly, very similar to the Guardian Angel, what Mercy has. The only difference is when Lucille does this high five ability, essentially he slingshots or skates along walls a lot quicker than he usually does, and when he gets to that target, let's say Ryan's low on health, he gets all his health back, immune for a few seconds, and then I think he should really get like a shield as well, which obviously depletes after a few seconds. Now, another one for Ana is the Eye of Hornus, which is essentially, on Heroes of the Storm, it gives her unlimited range on her shots, but Overwatch doesn't have that, unfortunately. There is no limit to sort of what you can shoot at. It usually hits a wall, or the bullets travel miles in the air. Now, what I'm thinking about for this ultimate is she would fire an unlimited ammo capacity, both penetrating, healing, and damage. So these shots are penetrable, and what it would do, so let's say there's like 10 AI robots lined up, it'd penetrate them and obviously weaken the damage for the penetration. So it could kind of work like, there's not really a character who can do penetration damage on Overwatch, which I'm thinking would be absolutely amazing for like an AI side of stuff, which would be cool. The healing would work as well. Not really much situations where you get that healing chance to line up tons of characters and heal them in a row like that. That would be absolutely amazing. Moving on to another character which I think's going to be an amazing is Junkrat. I was going to say Roadhog there. Now he has an ultimate on Heroes of the Storm called Rocket Ride, which essentially he gets a massive rocket and propels him through the air, very similar to the way Pharah works. The only difference is he can't be touched, pretty much. You can't do damage to him when he uses his ultimate. And he launches into the air and damages the enemy upon landing. You can see all this on screen right now, but it looks absolutely amazing for this rocket to magically appear out his backpack or whatever. But that is one of the cool ones, and it does huge catastrophic damage to the AI or robots that are in that proximity, very similar to, like, let's say May's Circle. Now, another one for Hanzo, we've already seen his ability at BlizzCon 2019, but he has a ability or ultimate called Dragon's Arrow. Now he fires an arrow that stuns and slightly damages the enemy, so essentially like a poison dart, and that would tick away and slow the enemy as well. So that way you can sort of run up to them, kill them. Very similar to the effects of freezing a character, but the only difference is like a poison arrow. D.Va has an amazing one as well called Bunny Hop. One of my favourite ones actually. I use this ability a lot on Heroes of the Storm. And what that is she comes unstoppable and slows enemies dealing splash damage next to her. So she's like a bunny essentially in her mech, and she just keeps jumping and jumping and jumping until like the ability is over. It takes about 5-6 seconds for the whole ultimate to be done with. I don't know if that'd be OP in these sort of game modes, but it's just ideas. So if you guys want to know anything else about these, you can easily search them on Google for Heroes of the Storm, or if you've got your own suggestions on your own ultimate, be sure to head down in the comments down below and let me know what these your thoughts are. She also has another ultimate called Big Shot when she's in her pilot mode, so out of her mech essentially. Usually on Overwatch, when you get your ultimate when you're out of your pilot, it's essentially you go back into your mech. There would be an alternative version to that where she would power up her pistol and do like huge damage. So essentially the same way a Hanzo ult would work with a dragon, but the only difference is it would be a lot narrower and dealing crazy amounts of damage. So if there's a massive tank or tank unit, that's what I meant, guys, I would do like 500 damage or something along those lines. Another one I'm thinking for Ashe is, of course, Fire in a Hole, where she throws a deadly dynamite, like huge dynamite, and doing really big damage. For that would totally help in like AI modes. She doesn't really. I love her dynamite, but I can never shoot it. We're moving on to Baptiste, which I'm absolutely loving as well, called 1-Up. Now this ult expands an immortality shield, which I thought would be a little bit better. Not a lot of players tend to stay in that sort of small circle on PvP game mode, and what it would do is sort of expand it a little bit, so if you're trying to run to cover or whatever, you can use it to progress through co-op or story. Also, I was thinking it would gain players inside this a reload speed, which essentially is going to amplify damage. Now, another one for Bastion. I've seen so many of these clips when I started playing Overwatch in Season 1, which was the sort of bouncing Betty ability he used to have. You can see that on screen right now as well, like how crazy that was, but it's very, very similar to Reaper's Death Blossom. The only difference is that it's not a physical character. For instance, Reaper's there and you're not going to get killed. That would be absolutely amazing for the co-op mode as well, because if you're trying to hold down this sort of area and there's like 4 entrances, you could maybe put your ultimate in one area. That way you only have to worry about 3 of them. We are thinking about another one for Sombra as well, called Hack the Planet. I think that's not already their ability, to be honest. But the ability completely disables all movement. Now, her ultimate does disable abilities. It doesn't disable the fact that you can shoot or, for instance, move about. It pretty much freezes you like May's ultimate, which I was thinking would be absolutely amazing for these sort of co-op modes because they are robots. Now Sigma, I was thinking, what is that melody? Which essentially the ability confuses the AI and then they shoot each other. That would be absolutely amazing for an ability as well, dealing some damage so you don't have to worry about that sort of AI for a few seconds, and hopefully dealing some damage to some of the robots, even killing them. Now that's all I've thought about for these characters and this video. There's a lot more on my Facebook page, guys, so if you want to stay tuned for that, be sure to head down into the description and head over to Facebook, where I've been posting a lot of these, and the people on my stream as well are absolutely loving it. So guys, I'm going to be leaving this here, but if you want to stay tuned for more Overwatch and Overwatch 2 content, be sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and like I said guys, head down into the comments and let me know what you guys think would be absolutely amazing talents or abilities in Overwatch 2. Until next time, I'll see you soon.